Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. We'll be having 15 minutes on this show, but we'll try as much as possible to do justice to the program. About 15 minutes, yes. We'll be talking to the media officer of the Flamingos, the under-17 Women's World Cup is currently going on in India. The Flamingos right now are in Mumbai. Well, they will be taking on the USA on Friday. We'll talk to her later on the show, just briefly. And of course, the para-athletes, what just happened earlier today and later in the evening. We'll start off with this big one coming from the para-athletes. Earlier today, they protested in Lagos, precisely at Surulere, close to the National Stadium, where the athletes were upset that, look, they would not, the fact that they were excluded from the 20th National Sport Festival, they were not happy about it. They took to the streets. Policemen had to come to disperse most of them, and they left. But their grievance was that they want to be included at the National Sports Festival. Remember, in April, they actually had their own sports festival in Abuja, but about 21 states with 16 sports. And earlier also, the minister has actually set up a committee to actually oversee. They created a department from Ministry of Sports that will oversee para-athletes. But these athletes are not happy because they felt you get more money when you participate at the National Sports Festival, where you have everyone taking part. Remember, it's just 3 sports. They usually 3 sports. That's the one that usually happens when they are at the National Sports Festival. Usually you have the para-table tennis, the para-powerlifters, and the para-athletics. These are some of the para-athletics. These are some of the events. 3 of them, they usually add to the National Sports Festival. But immediately after this protest, we're expecting something coming from the sports ministry, and now they had to come up with something, which is they've decided that no matter what the athletes are doing, they would not be part of the National Sports Festival. And this decision was taken at the meeting with the National Council of Sports, which has approved that the exclusion of these para-athletes, they would not be included no matter what they are saying. And these athletes obviously were not happy earlier today, took to the street. We're thinking just maybe after taking to the streets, the ministry will try as much as possible to add the powerlifting lifters, the para-table tennis athletes, and also the para-athletics, those who are involved in the track and field when it comes to athletics. But at the end of the day, when a meeting with the National Council of Sports was held this evening, they decided that para-powerlifters, para-table tennis players, and also para-athletes, they will not be part of it. So they've been excluded despite the process. We'll just take a look at what the ministry said immediately after this meeting, what came out from that particular meeting. Of course, this is the National Council of Sport decision on the 2022 National Sports Festival. Number 1 is that no para-sport in Delta 2022. This is confirmed, and cricket will be included in this year's game in Delta State for the first time. Of course, you have other sports that will be demonstration sports. Of course, you'll not be having medals when it comes to demonstration sport, and include mixed martial arts, netball, and also tech ball. These are the new events that will be added to the National Sports Festival, but they will just be on a demonstration. So because of these new sports that will be added, that was why the meeting was held earlier today. Remember, the date has been confirmed, so we're going to be having National Sports Festival from 28th November to 10th December in Asaba, Delta State. This is the 21st edition, so it's confirmed now. The National Council of Sport have decided that the para-athletes would not be part of it, and of course they have a reason for it. Earlier this year in April, they had their National Sports Festival, which about 21 states were part of it, and these 21 states were really happy when it was held. But at the end of the day, you had just 16 sports taking part. So with them having their own events, the ministry felt it's not, you can't also have them as part of it. So they did not make provisions for them. So no matter what the athletes are saying, no matter the protest that's currently going on, they will not be part of the National Sports Festival. So that's the update coming from the National Sports Festival. Of course, response from the Sports Ministry and the National Council on Sports on the demonstration that was carried out today. You see pictures coming from in April, where all the athletes that took part from Bauchi to Kano to Edo State, Bayelsa, Imo, Anambra, these states were part of it. Some other states were not part of it, but you have 21 states taking part. So it was more like a win-win for most of the athletes who participated. And the ministry also went on to say that they decided to be having the same prize money for both the para-athletes and also the normal athletes, because they don't want to have that discrimination for them. So these athletes, they will not be part of the National Sports Festival. So we move away from this one and quickly touch down on updates coming from the Nigerian Football Federation. Earlier today in Benin City, the Nigerian Football Federation President Ibrahim Gusso was in Benin City to pay courtesy call to the governor of the state, Godwin Obaseki. And of course, he was there with most of his cabinet members. And of course, the reason is they felt that Edo State has actually contributed a lot to sport. And the only way they can, ensure that the facilities in Edo State are being used regularly and showcase it to the world is to be bringing more games, more football matches, international matches to the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium because of the facilities that they have in Edo State. This will also encourage the government to build more facilities in the state. Let's take a listen to Ibrahim Gusso and also the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, also telling them to see how they can bring in more funds to football. And the only way they can do that is through transparency.
I want to assure you that we'll continue to partner with your government in ensuring that we will bring a lot of international matches here with your support, because you cannot spend this kind of money to put this kind of structures without we letting the world know about it, because that is the only way we can support you. That's the only way we can encourage you to do more. And so by the grace of God, we'll do our best to ensure that whenever it is convenient for you, we will contact you to at least we bring a lot of international matches in all cadres of our national teams.
We've had challenges in the management of our football in Nigeria. But these are not challenges that cannot be overcome. Key is the resourcing, the funding, financing football. We believe and expect and hope that during your tenure, the required tenets, which is transparency, openness, and accommodation, something we will see so that we can attract resources we know are available in this country into our football. As a state, rest assured that we are with you because we believe in what you stand for, what the NFF stands for. We will do our own bit, even though we were not happy at some of the incidents of the past. And you know what we're talking about. We hope that under your tenure, occurrences like that will not happen. Our players should not feel threatened or scared to play football or soccer in any part of this country. They must have a sense of protection, and that when people do not do the right things, sanctions, appropriate sanctions, will be meted out to them.
And that's the only way they can attract more sponsors to football. The only way: integrity, transparency, and also discipline. That will help a lot to actually grow the game in Nigeria. From that, we quickly move on to the Flamingos. Of course, updates coming from the camp is the fact that they are now in Mumbai, India, where they will be taking on the USA on Friday in the quarterfinal game. USA scoring 13 goals so far this competition, considering just won. The Flamingos are 7, conceding 2. But this is a team evenly poised because it's going to be a big game on a Friday. And of course, if they are able to do it well, Coach Bankole Olorunkanmi will become the first coach to be able to take the under-17 women's national team past the quarterfinal stage, getting into the semi-finals. Going into the tournament, what the players were saying is that they're just there to make history. We'll see if they can make that history. We'll try as much as possible to see if we can talk to the media officer, Faith, this evening. But if we can't get that, hopefully on Thursday, she will be able to talk to us. We'll have a comprehensive preview of the game, because the girls, they've done so well in this particular tournament. So leaving the Flamingos, quickly touch down on the prize money for the CAF Champions League. The big one everyone has been waiting for. CAF, they've announced the amount of money that those participating at this year's CAF Champions League will receive. Of course, by participating alone, you will get as much as 100 US. There you have the breakdown for the Women's CAF Champions League this year that will be taking place in Morocco. The winners will be going home with $400,000, runners-up $250,000, semi-finalists, the two semi-finalists will be having $200,000 each. Of course, if you finish third at the group stage, that's if you don't get into the semi-final, you'll be getting $150,000 US. And of course, if you finish last, competing, coming alone, you go home with $100,000. Which is a big, because no matter where as long as you've qualified for it, you've been grouped Group A and Group B. Well, obviously, something is coming up for all the teams that will be participating. For Bayelsa Queens, yes, they've been preparing. They wouldn't be representing Nigeria because they won the Waffle zone, Waffle B zone by virtue of the fact that they won the cup, the Zona regional game that was played for them. They've been training and they beat Heartland just on the 12th of the 12th of this month, facing Heartland in a friendly. Flourish Sebastian scoring the 2 goals that they use in defeating Heartland. They're preparing. We'll see how far they will go when the competition starts. From there, quickly, we touched down on FIFA Women's World Cup. That's the big one. The Women's World Cup, of course, New Zealand and Australia are hosting, and just earlier today, FIFA, they've decided to unveil the mascot for this year. So from the Tasman of the world, Tazuni has been revealed as the official mascot of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Tazuni happens to be a fun, football-loving penguin and was unveiled today, which is the official mascot, capturing the spirit of an event that will go beyond greatness. That's the logo, going beyond greatness. Tazuni is also a perfect representative of the host region that will help to bring the excitement of the highly anticipated tournament to a new generation of fans. So all the girls that are actually in Australia, New Zealand, they will be eager to see this and what they will be bringing to it. Now, name is a fusion of the Tasman Sea and also calls her home. There's a unity in it. There's a key value to the event. There's a whole lot going on. That's the reason they came up with this. And of course, from that, quickly, we touched down on, of course, the NBA started early hours of today. Yes, the game was at 12 midnight and the other was 3 a.m., which the biggest one happens to be the Lakers and, of course, the Golden State Warriors, the champions. Earlier, before the game, they had to celebrate their title. And, of course, Steph Curry usually was in action, come up with 33 points on the night when they went on a rout of 123 to 109 of the Lakers. Well, for Steph Curry led the all-time with that 33 points. Andrew Wiggins also scored 20 points for them. But then the Warriors aiming for that 5th title in 9 years. All the fans are really excited about that. LeBron James, of course, was part of the Lakers team. He had 31 points. Remember, he has something to do this season. He wants to have a record, all-time scoring record. He tries as much as to see if he can surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But for the Lakers fans who were outside the arena before the opening of the game, they feel that their team can really retain the title this season. It's going to be hard, but it's not impossible.
It's been champions, Warriors champions. Everyone can see that. Champions. We're number 1. We're going to be number 1 again, so get ready for it.
You know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be, as always, the West is tough. It's tough to beat, but I think, top 4 in the Western Conference, and then it's anybody's game, right? Once you get to the playoffs, but they should get back. I don't want to declare, back to back, because that's going to be a tough road, but they got the pieces for it, and it's there for them to take.
Better? Probably. More wisdom. Yeah, absolutely. More winning lot more years. Yeah. Now all the young guys have a nice championship under their belt. It's good. It's going to be a good team.
It's really hard to repeat. The toll that it takes in your body. But I believe this team has a second team. They can be like the Spurs. They can begin to transition to Kuminga and Moody, and we'll see. Is Jordan Poole worth the money? If Jordan Poole can be worth the money, we're going to go back to back. Splash, babies.
All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic night rest.